Savvy Business, helping you stand apart from your competition and explode the growth of your business. You're about to discover the latest online strategies, tools, and advice to succeed online. Succeed online. This is Super Savvy Business with expert online marketer Fiona Lewis.
Hi, it's Fiona Lewis here from Super Savvy Business with this week's podcast. Now, today I have a very special guest with me. His name is Keith Abraham, and Keith and I met earlier this year in February when I was at a conference, and I was so impressed with what he had to say that I wanted to bring his message and his teachings to the Super Savvy Business community. Now, passion is the key ingredient to achieving sustainable success in our lives and our business. Wouldn't you agree? So Keith is the perfect person to be able to speak on this topic. In the last 16 years, he has spent researching, training, and working with people to help them find their passion, harness their passion, and then turn their passion into personal and professional capital. In fact, Keith has personally assisted individuals and companies alike to create over 10 million goals. That's such a huge number, but this is what he does. And he's inspired businesses and people around the world to live more passionately. He's got 3 best-selling books, including Live Your Passion, and he's co-authored 3 others. He's founder of the Passionate Tribe online community, and his weekly blog has over 4,500 subscribers. And I think that really does give us a good idea of the sort of influence Keith has amongst his community. He's built a client base of over 265 companies across 20 different industry groups across 4 continents globally, and speaks at over 80 conferences globally each year, and has just been awarded the National Speakers Association of Australia Honour, which was the keynote speaker of the year. So you can understand why I'm so excited to have Keith on our call today. And I just want to start by welcoming you, Keith, to the Super Savvy Business podcast.
Oh, thanks very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be with you today, Fiona. So thanks for that.
Now, Keith, when we first met, I was very lucky to be able to sit through a whole day of your Passionate People workshop, and I walked away with my head just expanding with so much inspiration and ideas and wonderful things to be able to walk away with and actually implement into my personal life and into my business, which is why I was so keen to reach out to you and bring you into the Super Savvy Business community. Now, one of the things that really hit me was, you talk about putting your personal goals first ahead of your professional goals. Why is that, Keith?
Well, at the end of the day, from all the research that we've done over, I've been a professional speaker for the last 17 years and been talking about goal setting for the last 25 years around the globe. And one of the things that has been really interesting in this journey is that, when, I love this saying, when the why becomes clear, the how becomes easy. And so often people don't achieve their full potential because they don't have a big enough reason why. And, it's that old story. I believe we operate on 3 levels. You're either just getting by, you're good at what you do, or you're great at what you do. What's the enemy of greatness? Is that we're good at what we do. We're in that comfort zone. And by truly getting yourself clear on your personal reason first, you'll then go and achieve your business goals and the things that you want to do. If it's just to be successful in business, that'll drive you for a little while, but it won't be sustainable. I see lots of people in business who are very successful and their life is crappy. And so it really has got to come back to what your personal drivers are.
Yeah, look, I completely agree with what you're saying. When I work with my clients within my mastermind program, and that's one of the first things that we discuss is, why is it you do what you do? And many of them will come back with a business-related answer, won't they?
Oh, absolutely. So often, Fiona, one of the things that, I want to achieve this in my business and that's great, but why? At the end of the day, why are you doing it? And look, the how and the what. See, so often, Fiona, people stop at what. So often, people say to you, so what are you going to do when you leave school? So what do you want to achieve in your business this year? So what do you, what's your career goal? At the end of the day, people stop at what. But really, the driver, the key, the proven pathway is really understanding why. And you know, I make no apologies for overemphasizing this, because you need to hear it a few times for it to sink in. You know, when the why becomes clear, the how becomes easy. In actual fact, I honestly believe that the how will find you. When you are clear on your why, your reason, your purpose, your focus, the hows just come to you. People walk into your life, people walk into your business, and you go, wow, how did I manifest that? How did that happen? So it really is critical.
And that why has to be something that there's a really strong emotional connection to. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. In actual fact, I think that's the missing piece of the puzzle for most people. From all the research that we've done, if your goal isn't both emotional, if you're not emotionally connected, mentally connected, and physically connected to your goal, you will probably not pursue it as well as what you could, or as fast as what you could. You know, I've searched high and low, and, you know, we've done a whole stack of research around why do smart, intelligent, well-educated, driven people not pursue or not tap into their full potential? Because they don't have an emotional, a mental, and a physical connection. In actual fact, we call it feel, think, do. How do you want to feel? What do you think the goal is that you need to achieve to actually gain that feeling? And what do you need to do today, this week, or this month to achieve that goal? And when you can align all of those three together, and you saw this during the Passionate People workshop, when you can align all of those three together, something magical happens. What happens is people gain that laser-like focus, and they just align themselves, and they commit to the goal. Everyone's got lots of goals, but at the end of the day, the goals that really matter, the things that are most important to you, are the ones that you are aligned to and connected to.
And, you know, as business owners, we all know it's a, you know, pretty emotional roller coaster, and there are times when you're really quite challenged. And if you're really connected to your why, that's what keeps you there. That's what helps you to get through those tough times and helps you to overcome them and not just throw the towel in and give up.
Yeah, absolutely. I call it your true north. What you need to have in your business, and this is one of the challenges for people who run their own show, you know, and everyone's not as fortunate as your people, Fiona, to have you as a sounding board and as a resource to help them come back to that true north. What happens is, if you do not have a true north in your life and in your business, you'll be distracted by whatever. You know, you'll be distracted by stuff that just doesn't matter. It just doesn't count. And so the challenge for us is to find that true north. And if we feel like we're getting off track, it's to come back to, you know, what's important, what matters, what's going to make a difference, what's meaningful for me. And see, honestly believe that when we are so focused on what is not working, how do you possibly channel your energy into the stuff that is working and where you want to go? It's hard to drive a car forward when you're looking in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, you mentioned before about, you know, people finding it hard to find their true north. What sort of strategies do you suggest people use in order to tap into what that is?
Yeah, look, one of the things there, Fiona, that is, you know, that I've talked to groups now for close to 25 years, you know, a number of years before I became a professional presenter and the founder of Passionate People. One of the things that we get people to do is start their list of 100 things that they want to do in their lifetime. And when I originally did this, it was just one of those neat little ideas that, you know, that somebody shared with me, and I shared it with a whole stack of people. And But we've taken it a few steps beyond that. It's not this life, it's not just a life to-do list, or some people call it a bucket list. Now, I don't like calling it a bucket list because, a bucket list is when the doctor tells you you've got 6 months to live and go and do all the things you thought you wanted to do before you kicked the bucket. Yep. So let's call it a life to-do list. And I honestly believe that once you have gone through a
This has been Super Savvy Business with Fiona Lewis. Take the fast track to your success online. To find out how, visit supersavvybusiness.com now.